Geohuntaquata, Nigonjage, the Grasse River, an area that has been used by the people of Akwesasne since time immemorial. Beginning in 1903, however, this once picturesque area has become an environmental concern due to pollution from Alcoa, now known as Arconic. For more than a century, the company has released hazardous substances. One in particular is polychlorinated biphenyls, or PCBs. This contributed to the river being classified as a Superfund site by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, EPA. Efforts are underway to remediate the Grasse River, but not everyone agrees with the EPA's cleanup plan. To learn more, we spoke with tribal chiefs Eric Thompson and Beverly Cook.
Well, Akwesasne should be concerned about the Grasse River cleanup because it is upriver from our drinking supply. It's upwind from us. There's spawning grounds there for some of the fish. It has a direct impact and a direct effect on Akwesasne.
In 2012, the EPA issued their remedy for cleaning up the Grasse River, which entails dredging and capping a 7.2-mile stretch of the waterway. Approximately 109,000 cubic yards of sediment will be dredged near the shore and will remain at the company's landfill, while in deeper areas, 59 acres of contaminated sediment will remain in the river and be covered with an armored cap. For the tribe, the cleanup plan falls well short of removing all contaminated materials for good.
When they initially decided on the method that they were going to utilize in cleaning up the Grasse River, there were many times that they were advised that the method they were choosing wasn't going to be adequate. There's traditional ecological, tribal ecological knowledge that comes from generations of observation of how the river works and how the environment around the river works. And they've been told that there's going to be, and likely will be, an ice scour that's going to obliterate the armor cap that they're proposing to put at the bottom of the river. So that's one reason. The other reason is that there's new information that's been coming out pertaining to the PCBs themselves and how they behave. And in the past, we've concentrated primarily on the more heavily chlorinated congeners of PCBs that people are exposed to through ingestion by eating the fish and so on. And lately, there's been new evidence that we also need to be aware and beware of the lighter chlorinated PCBs that are found in the environment today. Their proposal of dredging the river and putting that contaminated sediment on the shore to air dry is not satisfactory, and we believe it's going to be harmful to the people because as it air dries, those lighter chlorinated PCBs are going to volatilize. They're going to evaporate into the air and people are going to breathe it in. So we know that that's a second route of exposure that we need to be aware of, and the plan that they're going to be exercising is going to put our people at risk, not only our people, but their people that live close by to the site.
Chief Beverly Cook shares the connection between the environment and public health.
Previously, it was the ingestion of the fish, which resulted in the fish ban. They found that there were high levels of PCBs in the children even at the time. So we know that we all have diabetes, we have quite a bit of cancer in our community, heart disease and so on. So there's definitely connections between PCBs and our health.
Chief Eric Thompson speaks about the tribe's efforts to raise environmental concerns to the U.S. government.
We're continually raising this issue when we're in D.C., when we meet with congressional representation, when we meet with with the EPA. We are constantly pressing for the complete removal of the GM site. We're constantly pressing for better methodology or better remediation methodology at the Grasse River site. We're opposing the armor cap site, and we're advocating for stricter or a tightening up of that consultation language so that we have a more substantive say in these consultation processes, and it's not just a checking off the box that happens and a foregone conclusion, but we're actually given some substantive impact within those consultations.
For the relationship with research institutions, Chief Beverly Cook explains.
We have a 30-odd year relationship with SUNY Albany, and Dr. David Carpenter, Mia Gallo, Larry Schell are all scientists that we've worked with in the past, and they've been very dedicated to our community in terms of trying to prove real effects of contamination in the environment and how it relates to our health. So the problem is that they rely on funding in order to be able to do that. We don't, right now, we don't have the amount of funding that it would take for them to be able to initiate new studies and then continue on.
Chief Eric Thompson explains the need for funding for the remediation of contaminated sites.
There is not enough money or resources that are put to the remediation because we would want it cleaned up completely.
For information on what community members can do if they have concerns about their public health, Chief Beverly Cook explains.
Knowing that we could be predisposed because of just being native, so there's certain diseases that have a higher incidence in native populations. The fact that we're predisposed to diabetes and then have an added exposure to the PCBs on top of that. Because we have a more sedentary lifestyle than we used to, because we don't eat out of our own gardens the way that we used to, we can't eat the fish out of the river like we used to. It's resulted in changes in our lifestyle and in some of our cultural practices for that matter. So monitoring your own health, getting regular checkups can give our people a head start, can give them a chance in keeping themselves healthy. So definitely regular checkups are super important. This is a topic that's on the forefront of Tribal Council's agenda at all times. And even though we may be looking for alternative revenue sources or revenue streams to fund programs, one of the major goals is to be able to help monitor the health of the people, but also to eliminate the source of the contamination. Everything that we do is strategic. And we've developed the strategic plan, and the environment is always there. The health of the people, the welfare of the people are always there. So we don't let up for 1 second on any of this. So I just want them to know that.
For a listing of informational meetings being hosted by the EPA, please visit epa.gov. For other questions and concerns, contact the Saint Regis Mohawk Tribe's Environment Division by calling 518-358-5937.